Hi, I'm Eva from amomandhercar.blogspot.com, and this is my first Flosstube video. I really love watching Flosstube and cross-stitching, and so I thought that I would start this channel to share my stitching with you all. And also, to be honest with you, it's a little bit of an accountability tool for me. I love starting new projects. I love finding charts that I think are beautiful and matching fabric and floss to it. I love a good new start, and then sometimes they sit in my whip drawer for a really long time. And so I'm kind of hoping that starting this channel will help me stay a little bit accountable to actually finishing the stitches that I start. So that's kind of my goals for this channel. I'm a pretty new cross stitcher. I've been stitching for a little over a year, and so I have a little bit of eclectic taste. I'm still trying to figure out what my style is, and so you'll see a sort of a combination of more easy, beginner-friendly things, and then I'm trying my hand at a few samplers and a few higher count stitches, especially this month. I have a few new starts coming up that will probably be more challenging for me. So if you ever have tips or tricks, or you see something I could be doing better, please leave a comment, because that is another part of this for me, is learning and trying to get better at this fun hobby that we all have. So the only other thing I'll say is I'm trying to put these videos up every other week. I may do some weekly, but I work outside the home. I'm a wife, I'm a mom. I have some animals who you'll see walking in and out, and so I have a lot of other responsibilities. Other than this, it's definitely just a hobby for me. So I'll try to keep a good rhythm going, but every other week seems the most doable for me. So one other thing that I'll say is that I'm a researcher by trade, and so you'll see me put a few simple data charts up, and that is again an accountability tool for me to watch the data go by as we see. So here's my first piece of data. So far in 2021, I've had 4 new starts and 3 finishes, so that's pretty good. They're all fairly small, but there you go, 4 new starts, 3 finishes, and I have 10 ongoing whips. So let's jump right in. My finishes. My first finish, this is a big project I'm working on. I've been working on it since September, and I'll be working on it through September of 2021. So this is by Little Stitch Girl. It's called Spooky Hallow. I'm stitching I do 1 scene a month. This is a sal through Happy Little Stitch Shop, which is a great online stitch shop. If you've never heard of them before, Angela's the owner, and she's great. She has a Flosstube as well. So I'm stitching on 18 count hazy gray fabric flare. So fabric flare is that fabric that on the back it's just plain white, and then they screen print the front. And so this is a nice spooky gray. My 2021 finish, you can see my needle, 2 needles there. I don't know why I have 2 needles. This was Pumpkin Park. For the scenes themselves, like all of this I used classic color work. When I started this stitch, I used DMC, so the cobblestone path in the grass, that's DMC. But then I saw online, and I really loved everyone's variegations. You can kind of see it more in the coffee shop and the barn, and I wanted that variegated, spooky look. And even Dracula, I just used 1 strand of DMC. Classic Colorworks. So not only is it variegated, but it's even kind of see-through and really spooky. So there's that, and then I'll be starting the next scene this month, and I'll talk more about that in just a little while. So that is my first finish, and then here are the floss that go with it, the Classic Colorworks and the DMC. So again, most of this I'll have left over and put in my stash, which is not a bad thing because these are great colors. And I'll probably use up most of this, over the course of the year. So my next finish of 2021 was not only a finish for this chart, but it was also a series finish. So again, another sal through Happy Little Stitch Shop are these Country Cottage and Needleworks cottages. Angela at Happy Little Stitch Shop is starting the series over. We started it in March of last year, and this was my last one, and she's restarting that. So if you haven't stitched these yet, she makes it really easy for you. I use DMC. This is 16 count, which helps. Might be lamb's wool. I'm pretty sure it's lamb's wool. I didn't change anything because I love it. I love pink. I love that little checkered roof. So anyhow, I'm sad that these are done. However, it does open me up now to start a new Country Cottage Needleworks series. So this is the sampler of the month. It's really popular. You've probably seen that. And my third finish of 2021 is January. I didn't change any colors. So this is a series, a sal from Fat Quarter Shop. What you order it, and they sent me this, I think 6 months worth of the Witch Helt 32 count linen and a cutting guide. So you got a big piece and it showed you exactly how to cut it so you didn't waste any, and that was really nice. So I went ahead and cut my 6 so that when I'm ready to start the next one, I just grab the pattern. I have a piece of this and I have the floss all kitted up, which I'll show you in just a second. But this was January. These are really quick. These are even quicker than the Cottage of the Month for me. And this is harder. The Cottage of the Month I did on 16 count, and this I did on 32 count. And I still get through pretty quickly. These are pretty small stitches. The Cottages tended to take me a while in the others, but these are so much smaller. So anyways, and I'm planning on framing this one. I wanted the Family Tree Company frame, or whatever, the same company that makes these frames, but they're so hard to get and they're really expensive. And so I saw on Instagram, and I wish I would have written this down because I can't remember who did it, but I saw on Instagram that someone just ordered a frame off of Etsy and it was like $14 or something. It was beautiful. So I might just go to Etsy and get a frame. And then what I do is I'll put this on foam core board and then just trade them out. So I'll have one frame and then I'll trade them out every month. But I stitch these in the month that it is, so this won't happen until next year. So I stitched January and January, and you'll see in just a second I've started February. So anyhow, these will be for next year. And I love this so far. Quick, easy stitch, fun. So now onto my whips. So again, some data charts. My first one here is a continuation of what I just said. So February, Country Cottage Needleworks Sampler of the Month. And I did start this, I think I started this on Friday. So see how quick that goes. And I really haven't worked on it that much. I am using Classic Colorworks. So these little cakes, I haven't changed anything. I just do what it says and it works out really pretty. So again, these came in the kit. We got all of the floss we needed, all the Classic Colorworks from Fat Quarter Shop, and this is for the whole year, which is really nice. It's already kitted up. I'm not going to need any replacement. This is what I need for this project. And I'm part of the Fat Quarter Shop Stitch Quarterly Club, which I love and highly recommend. And they had these cute little floss bitties in the last, sampler box that we got. And I know that they are Christmas. It was the Christmas box. It was a really cute Santa stitch, but I don't care. I'm going to use them all year. I think they're cute. And all I do is I took it off the Classic Colorworks little cardboard, and then I put it on this, and then I just write with a Sharpie. This is a little sprout, and I figured I could just use like nail polish remover and take it off when I'm done with it, or just keep using this for this color. That does take extra time to do this with the floss, but like I said, one of my favorite parts is kitting up projects, so I don't mind. It's fun for me. It's just as relaxing as stitching. So that was my first whip, and I'm looking at my chart here, which I will flash on the screen, but I am about 30% complete. And on these little pie charts that I made, these are estimates. Like, I'm not using Pattern Keeper or anything like that. They're just, I look at the pattern, I see how much was or wasn't done, and I estimate. And it's just so I can see my progress and sort of keep going. So my next, the next one I want to mention is part of my Spooky Hollow, the big one that I showed you. This is the library. I will be stitching this, so I put a really obvious chart here. It's 0% complete, but I will start this week. And I'm excited because I love libraries and I like that variegated orange color. I don't think I've ever used that before. So next is Sew by Row. I love this one. I almost didn't even order it, but this is a sal that Happy Little Stitch Shop and Fat Quarter Shop are doing. So Fat Quarter Shop, I can't remember where they are. They're going one a week, so they're pretty far. They may be on this row. And Happy Little Stitch Shop is doing one a month, so they may be on this row, so it's a little more manageable. I, however, have loved this one so much that I just sort of kept going. So I only have one row left. I'm about 80% complete with this one. This is 25 count Cloud Lugana. I'm using the called for DMC. I haven't changed anything unless I made a mistake. I did make a few mistakes on these stars. I am doing the back stitching too. I hate back stitching, but I have to say, whoever charted this pattern, whether it was Lori Holt or Back Quarter Shop, they do it so easily. You know exactly what to do. Even these little irons, these cords here, they look complicated, but how they have it charted and using the 25 count has made it so easy and almost enjoyable, which is, like I said, I do not like backstitch, so the fact that I'm saying it was enjoyable is telling. But I've loved this one, and I can't wait to get back to it. I'll stitch on this a little bit this week as well. So there is So by Row. And then next I pulled out, this week I pulled out sort of an old whip for me. So this is from Fat Quarter Shop. It's called Mistletoe Lane. I ordered it. It was a mystery sale. So I ordered it back and I thought I was going to keep up with it. I think this was maybe Jolly July and I didn't. So I decided to pull it back out and do a little more of it. So this is 25 count pewter Lugana. Very nice fabric, very sort of thick and high quality. I'm using the called for DMC. Let's see, I keep all my floss on these rings. I just buy them from Amazon. They're cheap and it's a way to keep, this is easy for me. I just put it in the bag, have my extra floss in there, toss those in, super simple. This will be slow. I mean, I'm not putting a lot of pressure on myself. I'm only 20% complete, but this was relaxing. So I first outlined this red and then I did the letters and then I just filled in while I was watching a movie. And so that's another one of those easy evening after work projects that it's just a good kind of filler. So I like that. All right, let's see what is next here. All right, so this one is this is my first try at something a little more advanced. So this is my first sampler and I love it. So I can tell I'm going to be doing a lot more samplers. This is a sow that my local needlework shop. So I'm in Texas. So Sitch Niche is my local needlework shop. It's a great shop if you're ever in the area. They did a sow but they didn't put times to it. It was just, they said, we're all going to stitch along. And so I'm technically not behind because they didn't put any times to it. It's by My Lady's Needle. It's so pretty. I'm using 32 count weeks dye work parchment, which this is advanced for me. 32 count was the highest count I'd used. I'm using the call for DMC. At the time, they also kitted up the silk thread that goes with it, and I wish I would have gotten it, but I was new when I bought this, and it was so, as you know, silks are so much more expensive, and so I was like, no, I'm just going to try it with the DMC. So the colors are still beautiful, but I do wish I would have had the silks. This one's very pretty. I had started the flower border. I was done with that, and I had this flower pot done. So this week, I added these little scenes, and this is the finished of the first 2 pages. So I'm a quarter of the way done here. And that gave me a lot of moments, and I can't wait to pull it back out when it gets in my rotation next. So my last thing that I worked on this week was another old one. So I had some extra time this week for some reason. I don't know. I guess I got ahead. Guess I had extra stitching time. Who knows what it was. And so I pulled out some old whips, which are several of the ones that I've shown you here. And this one is the Harvest Chalkful. I did the Easter one and the pumpkin one, and so I'll try to remember to bring those next time and show you and how I finished them, although I'm not sure where the Easter one was. It was one of my very first finishes, and there's no telling where it is. Maybe it's in my Easter decoration box. But this is by Hands On Design and Priscilla Blain, a collaboration between them. And let's see if I pulled it out. I didn't. I'm using the Classic Colorworks. I do not have these on a ring, actually. So I can definitely tell this is one of my early projects. This is the first time I used fancy floss. Everything else I used up to this point was DMC. So these are, I think, the major colors plus the Gentle Arts white color. So I had already done all of the white whenever I started this one, which was sometime last year. It's been sitting in a drawer for a while. So what I did this week is I finished all these little sunflowers using Queen's Bee. and I loved it. So after this week, I'm estimating that I'm about 30% complete, so that's pretty good. I also have the Mary Chalkful one, hasn't been started yet, so it's on my whips, but I haven't worked on it yet. So we'll see, maybe that's a good Jolly July start for me. So those are my whips for the week. How I do my whips is I have a focus project, and I have to get that 1 or 2 focus projects, and no matter what, I have to get those 2 done. Then I have a whip rotation, and so I'll show you my schedule for this upcoming week and what that will look like. So to kind of keep myself on track, I just have this notebook. It's blank on the inside, and I just sort of make a monthly plan. I don't know if you can see that. It's like nothing fancy, but this is what keeps me on track. And so this week I will finish my February sampler. I kind of wonder if I can get this done today. If not, I don't think it will take that long. It's today and maybe tomorrow. Who knows? I have to go to the doctor in the morning before work, so maybe I'll take it along while I'm waiting for the doctor. But you know, the cottage is going to take the longest. The other little things aren't taking too long. So that's the first thing I have to finish. So maybe get that done by Tuesday. And then the second thing that I'll probably work Wednesday, Thursday on is my last row in this one. And then I'll go try to find a frame for it. I frame most of my projects. Maybe one day I'll branch out, but for now I frame them. This one probably will take, this one was fast. This took me like 4 hours. This one will probably take me longer because it has so many color changes. So I'm not sure how I'm going to approach this one yet, but it will take me longer. It'll probably take me a couple of nights. And then if I finish all that, I will start on the library. And then the other thing I do is every morning, oh, this is my Spooky Hollow library. So, and this will take a while. So even if I start it by the weekend, this will probably take me into next week because it's actually a lot of stitches. Does it say it's 100 by 92? So these little scenes, they take longer than I expected them to, but I mean, I love them. So it's totally worth it, especially the little library and all those little books. But it does take me longer than I originally thought that they would. And then, so those are my 3 things. I have to finish the February sampler, I have to finish the sew by row, and then I want to start the library for Spooky Hollow. But every morning when I'm having my morning cup of tea, I spend about 10 or 15 minutes, and I put at least 1 strand of floss into my whips. And so those ones that my old whips that I sort of rotated through, there's no plan about which one I do. I just pull one out that I haven't done in at least a week. That seems like a good way to start the day. And I go through there. So that is my plan for the next week. And then the other thing I will show you are new projects. So, so again, this is one of the things that I'm not great at, which is starting new projects that are fun and pretty and that sort of thing. So I don't have the chart for this one yet. I'm going to flash it up here. Evelyn across the pond, I think that's her name, but I'll flash it up just to make sure. She started a brand new YouTube channel and it's super cute. I love listening to her. And she is doing a Sal with, I think, Georgia Stitcher. And again, I'll flash that up too. And she's doing Madame Chantilly's, I think she's doing winter tiered trays. And I've had my eye on these for a while. And I wanted a spring stitch. I want to start a spring stitch soon because I'm tired of winter. So I decided I'm going to bring spring on by doing a spring stitch. So I'm going to do the spring Madame Chantilly. So I put a picture up here for you. My local Needleworks shop did not have it. A couple of the online that I looked for didn't have it. And so I did what Evelyn said, which was I emailed Madame Chantilly, her Etsy shop, and asked for the PDF. And she was great. She responded right away. And it takes her a little bit of time. I mean, I emailed her over the weekend. So by next week, I'll have this PDF version of the chart and I'll print it out. I like printed versions. I don't know. I'm old school that way. But I did at my local needlework shop, Sitch Niche, I bought a piece of linen. So this is going to be well, actually, I guess it'll go this way. I'm going to do the spring chart and I'll do this linen. This is flax. So I couldn't find the raw, which is what Madame Chantilly stitch it on. And I actually like this like natural linen look for this in particular. So I got a 14 by 18 piece of flax, and this is 40 count. So she didn't have the raw. This is as close as she had, and she didn't have this in 36. So I'm just looking at this. I don't know. It's going to be challenging. I'm on no huge timetable. She's starting her stitch along on February 28th. So I will start on the same day that she starts, but I'm just going to take my time on this one and just see how it goes. And I'm using the Chalkful DMC. Most of the DMC I have in my stash. The other ones I'll probably just go to Michael's and get them. I would have gotten them at Sitch Niche, but I forgot to write down which ones I needed. So I didn't want to buy all the ones that were doubled up. And then I did an impulse buy because at the register were these easy ballpoint tip needles, and I needed some more size 28s anyway. So, and I keep hearing people talk about these ball tip needle. So I'm going to try this on this project. I really love Pat Carson needles in general. Oh, look, I just opened it and it's going to fall out. But they didn't have any Pat Carson size 28. Nobody has anything right now because of COVID. And so I'm learning to branch out and be a little open-minded. So I'll try these and report back. And, you know, the really experienced woman who owns the store, one of the women who owned the store, said that she likes these and they would work good on the 40 count. So I'm excited about that. So other than that, that's all I have to share with you today. Thanks for hanging in there for my first Flosstube. And I'll be back at least in 2 weeks. And if not before then, if I have anything to update and the time to make a video next week, I certainly will. Thanks. Have a good week. Enjoy your stitching, and I'll see you next time.